All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Steve Whiting, and I have Marcus Willard here with me as well.
Hey, guys.
Very excited to have you on this webinar today. So we're just going to give about 30 seconds as people start to still come in. See, a lot of you are joining the webinar now, which is awesome. We've got a bunch of polls and things to work, give as we're going through this webinar. So it's going to be interactive, and as you guys answer it, we customize the webinar a little bit based on your answers. So looking forward to your participation on that.
Hey, if you don't mind, let us know in the little chat bar over here who you are and where you're from, and maybe what you're looking to get out of this webinar today.
And as you're going through the webinar, as we're going through it, feel free to ask questions along the way, and we'll do our best to answer those as well. We may not be able to get to everything, but we'll get to as many as we can. So great. So once again, thanks for having you on, and let's get started. So from lead to conversion. So it's all about how to grow your business predictably. So the goals of this webinar are really, if you don't have any leads yet, by the end of this webinar, you should have some. And if you do have leads, you're going to convert at least one more by the end of this webinar. So stay tuned to that. And I also have a little bit of a gift for people that don't have any leads yet. So stay tuned to the end, and I'll offer that as well. So who are we? So my name is Steve Whiting, as I mentioned at the beginning, and we have generated thousands of leads since 2015 a day for our agents. And really, when we do that, it's all about testing. So we test as much as we can on Facebook. Marcus and I specifically have done a ton of testing on the funnels. We've tried video ads, we've tried lead ads, we've run within the funnels, we've changed the language, we've changed what we put on it. Sometimes we do video front, we do video at the back, sometimes we change the form steps. And with all of that, we want to make sure that we're giving you the best funnels and making sure that you're getting the results that you're looking for.
But Steve, the question is, who are you? People don't want to know about what we've done. They want to know about who you are. So let's just tell them a little bit something interesting about yourself.
Well, I have 2 kids. That's really interesting.
I also have 2 boys, 4.5 and a 2.5-year-old. I have a dog named Zuma. She's a Labradoodle. She's a puppy. And I do crazy nutrition challenges all the time. People probably who are on Facebook and are my friends can see that I am actually on a carnivore challenge. So tune into my Instagram, the carnivore lifestyle, if you want to know more about that.
Oh, look, we lost half the people in the webinar.
Sorry, vegans. We'll talk more about that.
All right. So quick poll for you to kick it off. How many of you are currently generating leads on Facebook? So I'm just going to go ahead and launch this. So let me know. If you're generating leads, hit the yes. If you're not, hit the no.
Or if you just don't know where this poll that we're running is, where the chat feature is, let us know. Of course, they would have to let us know. They'd have to know where it is. Make sure you let us know, too, if you can hear us properly. If there's any confusion or questions regarding what you're seeing and what you're hearing, please use that chat feature as much as you possibly can.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to run the poll here for a second, and I'm just about to close it. Okay. Oh, I didn't actually publish it, so here you go. So here's your chance to answer it. So are you currently generating leads from Facebook? I see some answers coming in already. Give you guys a few more seconds. And love for your participation, so I'll just give you another 10 seconds here.
Yeah, are you currently generating leads? Are you currently in trial? Then you are generating leads, so that would be a yes. If you have any experience with Facebook lead generation, that would also be a yes.
Okay, so I'm going to end the poll here. Okay. All right, so you should be able to see it. So for those of you that are on the webinar, you've answered no. So the majority of you are not generating any leads on Facebook. And actually, this is a great webinar for you. You're going to learn a lot to go through. So what I'll do is I'll jump through. I just want to quickly highlight Facebook because it really is just an amazing platform. For those of you that have been on our webinars before, I just have a couple slides on this again because it's always so important. It's such a powerful reminder that literally, as Marcus said in the last one, what is it, like almost a third of the world's population is on Facebook?
Yeah, essentially anybody with a computer or a smartphone is on Facebook. So, your millennials, your Generation Y, your baby boomers, it doesn't matter what type of buyer or seller, you're going to be wanting to be on Facebook. You're going to be wanting to advertise. You're going to be wanting to lead generate. And the combination of the two is probably the most cost-effective solution that I've seen today.
Mm-hmm. And it is such, with the demographics that are on there, it's such a powerful way of getting in front of specifically the age range of the majority of home sellers. And Jonathan was actually just sharing some stats with me this morning, reminding me of the fact that, yes, we all know that 79% of people would likely work with the same real estate agent that they used before, but only 23% of them do, and they do. That's why the number is so small, in large part because of the fact that the realtor falls out of communication, or they're just not able to stay in touch with that client again, on an ongoing basis. And agents that are smart and use Facebook are able to get in front of those home sellers early, and in doing so, they're able to actually generate that conversation, start that relationship, and they're the realtor that home seller is going to list with in the future. And when you take a look at all of the platforms, Facebook and Instagram, obviously, which is Facebook, so when you run ads, you run them to both, they dominate. 80% of everybody in North America, and this is everybody, every adult in North America has a Facebook account, which is astounding. That just really is a powerful statistic.
Yeah, let's switch to there we go. What's up, Jeff, Shane, John, Ariane, Dan? We see you guys. And make sure to, like I said before, if you're on this or you're just tuning in, use the chat feature. If you have any questions, use the chat feature to introduce yourself, to communicate what you're looking for in this webinar, and we'll definitely answer those questions as we go along.
Agreed. So Donna Swansea, and some of you have maybe seen that we've promoted her in the past as well. She consistently does 44 to 45 listings a year on StreetText and Facebook. And, how does she do that? So here's one of the interesting things that she sent us last year. So for 2017, she actually sent us all of her listings. So every deal that she essentially did, and you can see in blue, those are the ones that she did not from our program, and red are the ones that she did from our program. So take a look at this chart. So you'll see some seasonality in here, but I have something really interesting to show you about this. So the first secret is the power of owning attention. So what do I mean by that? Basically, what I mean is that there's three types of traffic. So, I think about this when people are going to find your website. There's people that find your website or call you up on a sign call, and it's really people you can't control. They just find you. You can't really count on them, but you're really thankful when they find you or they find your website. And then there's traffic that you pay for or that you can control. And that's really what we do with Facebook advertising, or really any sort of advertising. You can basically go to an audience, you can point them and pay for their attention and point them to either a lead generation funnel or to your website or to a listing or whatever it may be. So you can control that traffic, but you don't control, you can only control it as long as you're paying for it. And then there's the traffic that you own. And what I essentially mean by that is your database. So that's the ability for you to now send a message whenever you want for free and literally at any time. So this is traffic that you own, and so many agents, I find, just kind of forget this principle. So when the markets change, real estate agents that have a big database and they own traffic, they're able to send updates about neighborhoods, school district updates. They can send a new listing that they just took or whatever it may be, and they can target their existing database and get their message out for free. And they get way ahead of any other agent that now has to suddenly pay more for an expensive ad as the markets begin to change. So here's an example of how powerful that is. So if Donna, you may even be on this webinar. Yeah, she is. So I love showing this, and I actually brought this up a couple weeks ago in the StreetText Insider Group because, so if you take a look, she wrote this in May of 2017. She said, last Sunday, I'm stressing out because I only had 3 homes that I've listed so far in May. So I sent an email to all 1,500 email addresses that I had through StreetText. And as of today, a week later, I've listed 6 homes in direct response to that email. Follow up. Exhausted beyond belief, but ever so grateful. So just keep an eye on that. That was May of 2017. And when you take a look back at this chart, take a look here. This is really interesting. So the amount of deals that she was doing through StreetText was actually declining as she was approaching April. May is huge, June, July. And that is the power of database. Now, I'm sure, Donna, you can contribute in here. You can add in here as well. I'm sure that the market was good and all those other factors, but it's undeniable that those 6 extra listings came from the fact that you were able to hit up your database. And that's the same actually for our business. When we're running ads and we're meeting new clients, we rely heavily on our old database to make sure that we can get our message out. And that actually also brings your ad cost down. Because if you think about it, as your database grows, the amount that you spend on Facebook to attract new clients goes down because let's just say you're always bringing in 10 leads for, say, $100. Let's just say hypothetically. So you're paying $10 a lead. But now you have this database, and as your database is 10 people, and 100 people, and then 1,000 people, every time you send an email to that, you're going to generate leads again from that list, which overall actually brings in more leads for the month for that same $100 spend. So that's the power, once again,
You know what? And I
database.
think to key on that, Steve, I think the problem that a lot of people see on lead generation conversion is that they touch on that database maybe once or twice, but then they don't have the consistency of touching on them ongoing with relevant information, branding themselves, getting in front of them, communicating what's happening in the market, and just staying in touch, building that trust and rapport. So we're going to highlight that, and that's what Donna does brilliantly. Is she continues to add value with each email she sends, with each newsletter she sends, with everything she sends to help her become the local realtor, the local expert in that market.
Mm-hmm. And actually, I'm really glad you said that, because I think for a lot of agents, they sort of have a database, but they haven't stayed in touch with them, so they're not really sure how to revive that. And I think we can probably offer you some solutions to revive that in a couple next slides. So and actually a free tip as well, or to build your database for free, and I would definitely do this alongside of any paid advertising you're doing, is that there's so many neighborhood groups that you can join. So if you're specifically targeting an area or a couple different zip codes or whatever it may be, and you're looking to attract more seller leads, maybe you got a buyer campaign running as well. If you join these different neighborhood groups, and there's so many of them out there, and you can see, you might be kind of hard to see on the screen, but the first group has 479 members, the next group has almost 5,000, the group after that has almost 7,000 people in there. So when you go into these groups, and I know we were talking to Sam Smith, and Sam does this a lot, he actually posts links or helpful content and then includes the link of his home evaluation funnel or his buyer campaign in these groups. And he brings in a ton of free leads and to build up his database as well through that. So
another
highly
option
recommend
is to create your own group.
Yeah,
right?
It's even better. Yeah, create a neighborhood group, or maybe it's either a neighborhood watch group, it could be a neighborhood update, could just be events that are taking place in the neighborhood, whatever it may be. That's a great idea.
Your favorite restaurants, your favorite venues, just favorite in general.
Mm-hmm. So secret number 2 is, how do you generate 81% more replies? And this is one of the most overlooked, well, I shouldn't say really overlooked, but it's sometimes it's uncomfortable for people to realize how easy this is, because it's out of their comfort zone. But when you look at the statistics that BombBomb has, and we're gonna showcase some other tools as well. We obviously really like BombBomb for how well it integrates on a number of the other tools. There are other solutions out there if you're not looking to spend any money, but it is well worth the spend. BombBomb did this, and they ran this their own survey with their own clients, and they were able to find that their clients that were using video were getting 81% more replies, 68% more conversion on their leads, and video is one of the most interesting aspects of lead generation, because it's the only way you can get face-to-face without being face-to-face. And I know, Marcus, you use this a ton.
Well, I mean, let's just talk about it, because for someone who's never heard of the concept of video emailing, as I find, there's only one true solution to get face-to-face when you have nothing but an email. And when you generate leads, you're oftentimes going to have some partial information. Doesn't mean you won't have the full, complete contact information, including their name and phone number, but oftentimes you're left with an email wondering, what do I do? How do I get in front of them? And there is only one way outside of literally showing up in front of their home, and that is through working a seller campaign, which can be quite uncomfortable to show up at the home and introduce yourself unless you're just one of those personalities. So video emailing is so effective, and here's why. Number one, you're going to be able to track to see if that email has been opened. Okay, that's the big component a lot of people are missing out on. Number two, you're going to track to see if that video has been played. And then you're also going to be able to track and see if any link that you put on that email has been clicked as well. And so with lead generation, when we're servicing them something, maybe it's a list of homes under $399, you're going to see all 3 of those taken care of, and you know that you've gotten the opportunity to get face-to-face. Now, a big part of that is likability. We all make first impressions. So, and we're going to touch on this shortly, but I want you guys to all consider that you're watching us on this webinar right now.
Yeah, this is actually a good example.
Okay, and now imagine trying to watch this webinar with
or learn from this webinar.
Or learn from this webinar with everything taken out, even our voice
and the video camera.
And all you're trying to do is just follow along with slides. Okay, you're going to be out of here in the first minute.
And that's really what, email can get the point across, but you lose the tonality, you lose the body language, you lose the fact that, it's interesting to watch somebody, you're engaged because they're looking at you right in the camera.
And people can see right past it. Like, let's all be honest, with salesy type of people, because they're coming from the perspective, and they've probably been, have some sort of perception in their mind, or this guy's just trying to get my business, just a sleazy, fill in the blank realtor until they have a chance to meet you and see the authenticity, to see the, you know, your genuine ability to give information, to want to serve and help. Then you're just going to get lost in the text translation. And we find that, and maybe Shane, you can hit on this a little bit if you're in here, that I think it's something like 93% of communication is body language and tonality. So if you're relying on a very small percentage, and it probably is, 2 to 3% at most of text, think about everybody who gets an email daily. Think about the emails that go in your spam filter. Think about the emails that you don't even look at. You just, like, I come back to the office every morning and have about 200 emails. And what am I going to do? I'm not going to look through all of those. So I just go to delete all on my email list.
Yeah.
And I'll just unclick the ones that I want to actually look at, the ones I know are important. Mm-hmm. All the other ones just go straight to the delete folder. So I'm not even looking at that. So for you to send an email, it better be a good email. Mm-hmm. It better be effective. It better be something that no one's ever seen before. Mm-hmm. And more importantly, it better be you, your personality, and your genuine message. And you can do that. The cool thing about this, guys, is you can do that automatically. So it doesn't have to be a one-off every time. Mm-hmm. There can be a direct connection between that lead information being stored and then fired out with a video introducing yourself. So we'll talk about the scenario of automatically sending a video to introduce yourself, as well as the personal introduction. Both powerful, but both are going to have different strategic alignments.
Mm-hmm. And there's, obviously there's BombBomb, there's other tools. Loom's a tool out there. I think there's a Chrome extension you can use. You can obviously run YouTube. I actually will send you a little invite here for BombBomb, because I actually have a 14-day trial, so if you wanted to test it. And the reason that we encourage the BombBomb platform over the others, and again, you can use anything that you want, but the reason we do is twofold. One is it directly connects to the StreetText system through Zapier, so that's great. Like Marcus was saying, every time a lead comes in, it can automatically engage the BombBomb campaign, so you don't have to repeat yourself over and over. It's always a good idea to do as many authentic videos as you can, but we're going to show you some examples where you can just do one, and most of our agents do that. Most of them have just done one video that then it feels unique and personalized for every client that comes through, but the agent doesn't have to redo the video every single time. Well,
there's a lot of reasons too that you should highlight. Why do you want to use BombBomb? The integration is seamless. It's the ease of use. You have an app on your phone that you can pull up, because you're not going to always be in front of the computer to shoot it. So the app is going to be huge. When you can send it as an SMS message, you can send it as a Facebook message. I'm a big Gmail user, so I use Chrome extension. And I really love that ability, because it's actually easier for me to send a video message to somebody. It takes less time to communicate what I'm trying to communicate. Literally, when I go to send email, it goes 3, 2, 1 countdown, webcam pops open, and then I just press save, and then it bends in my email, and I just click send. Mm. Also, again, on the right-hand side of my Chrome extension, I see if you've opened it, if you've received it, number one, if you've opened it, if you played that video email, and if you clicked on any links. So that's a huge feature right there. And the translation onto the Android, the iPhone, all the different smartphones, because you're going to think about all the users that you're sending it to are not going to be using the same email provider or the same type of phone. So that's going to be an important piece of that. Mm-hmm. It's got to be powerful among all devices.
Mm-hmm. And so just back to video in general for a second again too, which is just, even if you've got a great follow-up system in place, you can probably add another 10 or 20% to of conversion if you utilize video to some capacity.
I would probably say more, I'll be honest, but
yeah,
I'm a little bit of bias.
And I think the thing that for any of you that, I can just kind of close in this around it is just that if kind of two things. One is that if you feel uncomfortable with video, practice obviously makes perfect. It's really easy to get comfortable with it. Just, even send a quick personalized video, like open up a text message and do a quick video to say your kids or your spouse or your parents, and watch the impact if you just, let them know how much you appreciate them. Send that, see the response that you'll get. That's an easy way to start getting comfortable with it. The reason I promote it as well, even, it's just that the more comfortable you get with it, I think that, we're moving to more video. So the more comfortable you can get with it now, you're just going to be ahead of that curve no matter what.
Well, it's a voicemail, right? It's essentially having the opportunity to leave a voicemail on email, because you're going to have your voice, but then you're going to get in front of them, and everybody's going to get to know you anyway. So you're going to have to meet them in person at some point. So just be yourself. Don't worry about looking a certain way, because everybody's going to get to know the real you anyways. You're not going to be able to have the makeup and the perfect hair and the perfect suit and everything all together. They actually rather see the real you when you're out and about, when you just finished your workout, when you're sweating. Like, that is the time they want to know that you've actually taken time aside just to get back to them personally is going to be so much more powerful than you trying to respond to them by email and a text and communicate what you're trying to say. I guarantee you 99% of the time that also gets lost in translation, or it never gets opened. And you might have to send them dozens of emails before they actually reply, or they just tell you, I'm not interested. Let's get that out of the way right away. If they are not interested, they'll tell you sooner with video than you have to send 15, 20 emails with annoying text trying to get their business.
No, that's a good point. And so I'll just show you one of these examples. This is just a great way of, how easy it is to quickly film something that can be set up automatically. Now, when I open this, you're not going to see the email, but just imagine that this is actually going to play in their email. They're going to see it, and they can automatically just click on the image, and it's going to play. So I've just got all the white around it because I'm just opening it.
And guys, I'll leave my email here. You can send me an email if you want to see how it is presented. Like, I'll send you a personal email introducing myself and showing you a whiteboard example. It's very powerful. So I'll show you a personal example of what the lead would see. Because this is the finished product after they've clicked on the link in the email. So leave your email here in the chat box, and I'll send you a personal video as I would send to a lead.
Awesome. Here's a quick example.
Max, thank you so much for requesting a Facebook home evaluation. I will be working on it right away. Let me know if there's any upgrades, any renovation, anything that particularly would affect the value of the home. That would be great. Reply in this email. Look forward to sending it your way. Thank you.
So it's literally just that simple. You can take a couple takes at it if you're going to do one that you're going to reuse over and over again. And now you have this video that's evergreen that can always go out to every new lead that comes in.
And just some advice, don't have your puppy in the background chewing on a toy, because that's the clicking you were hearing.
Okay, so let's get back to the goals of this webinar. So if you don't have any leads yet, and as obviously you guys were mentioning at the beginning,
chat feature here too as well.
Yeah, we'll jump back. I'm gonna help you get some, and then also if you do have some leads and you want to convert one more, we're gonna cover that in this webinar as well. Okay, so to start the 7-day trial, we've actually generated a new process where you can log in to the StreetText system, and we'll build out the campaigns for you. The only thing you're gonna have to pay is your Facebook ad budget over the 7 days. So it's literally that easy. Remember what I'll do quick.
And you know what? I know there's a lot of you on here that are already in trials, so we'll actually go through this pretty fast. Down to a matter of if, we always say this, when it's going to work, not if it's going to work. Sometimes you have to shift it up a little bit. Sometimes you got to manipulate the target audience. Sometimes you got to manipulate just a few words, both on the ad itself and the lead extraction funnels to get that end result you're looking for. So we're always going to just say it's the power of testing with StreetText. We're not going to hold you down to a particular zip code or a particular area or a certain type of campaign. There's endless opportunities out there, guys. We just got to work together to find out that perfect solution.
And great point. And on that note as well, if you're one of our current clients and you're running one of our campaigns but not the other, this is a great opportunity. You can actually go through this process, I believe. If not, just email us afterwards and we can get you set up on the other one. This is a great opportunity just to run the other campaign alongside the one that you're currently doing.
Yeah.
And so essentially what I did is I just posted the link here. So StreetText.com/start/trial. So if you click on that link, you're going to land on this page. And all you do is you go ahead and you put in your information, and I'll move through this pretty quick. Like Marcus said, most of you are in trial already. Click next, and you're going to be given a choice. And these are the two initial campaigns that you're going to start with, which can be further customized from here. But these are the two that you're going to otherwise pick. So the majority of our clients are probably going to have the one on the left. A lot of you now are also going to have the one on the right, and this is the buyer to seller campaign. And you know what we've realized as you were running both, that there's actually a ton of power in running the both. And
huge synergy.
So think about it this way. The seller one on the left is really designed to farm a specific area, and it's more of a long-term process. You're going to, a lot of these leads are 3 or 6 months or even sometimes a year or further out. So you're going to want to stay close to them. You want to add a lot of value. And then the second campaign is the buyer to seller campaign. And the reason we call it that is that if it's set up right, you actually get a ton of buyers with homes to sell. So you target neighborhoods or lists of properties that are maybe like up and coming neighborhoods, the big family. There's a lot of new developments taking place in the family neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And so what you find is a lot of people, the buyers know what they want pretty quick.
Yeah.
They come into the funnel, and then we ask them if they have a home to sell, and a lot of them do. But here's the real gem of running the two campaigns side by side, is that, and we're going to cover this more in another webinar that we'll let you know about as well. But Matthew Nicholas, one of the strategies that he always did on his seller side is because he works with he has such a big team, does 200 plus transactions. They have a ton of buyers they're working with. So what he would do is that he would send his get off the fence letter, which essentially was thanks so much for requesting the value of your home. I actually have buyers looking in your neighborhood right now, and he'd kind of talk a little bit about the buyers, and he'd send them this letter.
A couple with children, they're looking to be near this school, so that he paints the portrait of that ideal buyer, so they feel comfortable with wanting to meet.
And unlike some realtors that I know have run this where they actually don't have those buyers, Matthew does, and I know a lot of other realtors can't do it because they don't have the buyers. When you run the buyer campaign as well, you're especially if you're targeting the same area, and it's a hot area that you want to have both the buyers and the sellers in, you're now generating all these buyer leads as well that are coming in.
Yeah.
You're starting a relationship with them, and now you genuinely have these buyer leads to go and promote to your sellers. And likewise, if you get a new listing that's going to come on the market that isn't even on the market yet, but you're in discussion with, you can actually now talk about that to your buyer leads. So it's really a good idea to run these two. We never understood the impact of actually running them simultaneously, but there's enormous synergy when you run the two campaigns side by side.
I agree. And I also, one thing to touch on too on the buyer campaign is that you have a lot more flexibility with the type of buyer that you want to get in front of, whether it is a millennial, first-time home buyer, right? They're going to be a unique animal in themselves. I had a conversation with somebody earlier today, and the key is they don't want anything to do with the rental properties, okay? I mean, let's be honest, a lot of millennials are entitled, spoiled.
Not me.
Not me, of course, either. But they want the turnkey situation, right? So you might run a specific buyer campaign designed for them. New development properties, condominiums, townhomes, that type of campaign really going to promote first-time home buyers to come in there. It's going to be different for the Generation Y and baby boomers who maybe are looking to move,
either downsize.
Yeah.
So you can run different campaigns for each one of those markets, and specifically the downsize. I mean, you're going to be guaranteed to have a listing for everyone. Like you're going to get a listing every time you track that buyer. As long as you're their realtor, you're going to pick up that listing as well. So I'm not going to go through this. It's really quick and easy, but I just want to let you know you're actually not going to be charged from us if you do these campaigns. Facebook will charge you like normal. Just set up your ad budget. It'll actually show up in your own ad account. So it's really easy to do. We're gonna set up the ad. We'll set up the landing pages, the capture forms. You'll have all of our auto text and auto emails included, all done for you for the 7 days. So basically, if you don't have leads, this is the best way and easiest way to get some right away.
And we'll make adjustments right away too, guys. And remember, we find that relevancy is a score that can change literally within a day. So you find out within the first 500 people reached, which what I find is just $10 spent on Facebook, if the ad is something that we want to continue running, or if that's something we should change up. So that being said, whether you're going into trial, then you continue on as a long-term partner with us, whenever the ad gets stale or stagnant and you're feeling like the consistency of the lead volume and flow is not there, we simply just get together on the phone. We start looking at some different options and some different ad, both images and text, and look at the landing page, and we'll do a full solution, and we'll constantly go and testing until we find that ideal campaign. And once we find it, we ride that wave as long as possible. And when the time comes again, we'll revisit it just the same way. So you're not locked into any type of campaign. You don't have to run just buyer, just seller. There's always opportunities to do either single ones or both, and the reasons why you should do them both as well.
That's awesome. And during the 7 days, you're going to get a ton of free training too. So you're actually going to see how you can increase your relevancy and lower your ad costs with just a couple of quick tips. How to run a contest. You're gonna learn how to learn more about your leads as they come in by checking out their Facebook profiles or their LinkedIn profile or whatever it may be. So you can actually leverage that when you're doing, say, an initial video or any sort of interaction with them.
Yeah. And we're going to touch on too, now that we have the BombBomb component, on how to create a Zap connection. So you essentially can get that automated video out right away to those leads. So that's going to be a big synergy that we'll touch more on. So make sure to get back to me, communicate if you want to get that set up on how to effectively get those BombBomb videos automatically firing. Because that right there is going to be, I think, the biggest difference on the conversion and ongoing.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so you're going to have a ton of strategies from our clients along the way as well. Handwritten letters. I mean, such a great little tip. I mean, if you're going to send anything, make sure you just at least handwrite the address component, or like the to address component, and you're much more likely to get an open rate. In fact, those are the letters I open. Everything else I just toss. So there's a whole bunch of great little strategies and tips in there, and all of that's free.
Shane's got a question. Well. He says, do you recommend sending videos from the office or somewhere else? I actually think that on the automated ones, you want to make sure that the background, if you look at the email example that I shared with you, don't want to have a lot of distractions, a lot of things, busyness going on in the background. You just want to make sure that the tonality of what you're trying to say and communicate, there's not a lot of distraction and echoes and noises. So make sure you have a nice, safe space with good lighting on the automated ones, okay? But on the personal videos that you send, I don't care where you are. That's the realness behind it, because essentially if you're in front of showing a home, or you're just getting done at the gym, or you're just sending, dropping off your kids at school, that's real. And people are going to love that. And I mean, if you just communicate, they see that, they're like, oh, this guy's cool. That's right there, the way to do it. Just pull out your phone, shoot the video, get back to them. You've done yourself a huge service, and I guarantee you,
and to stand apart from every other.
Yeah, nobody's doing this. Not in the sense like you might have a few colleagues that are doing something like this, or maybe just they're trying to do it, but they're not doing consistency. So the people that get to video first, just like the people that got to Facebook first and to Instagram first and all these social platforms first, are going to be the winners in this whole equation.
Well, that's something I was going to add to that, but it's honestly as easy. You can even just pull out your phone and just hit text, and your phone will just do a video, and you can send that. It's just so easy.
On iMessage to iMessage, that works. It doesn't translate always when you're sending it from an iMessage to an Android. So there are some issues there. It eats up your data pretty badly too.
Gotcha.
So we'll talk more about that again. Just make sure you work with your account manager, and we'll take care of that.
So I just want to play a quick little clip here from Sydney as well, and it just sort of, for those of you that obviously are on our program, it's just like a minute long or so. For those of you who aren't, it'll just give you an understanding of what it's like once you're in the account.
Yeah, and so then my one listing appointment that I went to, I got that listing, and it was our average price point here is between, I'd say, $200 and $350. Yeah. And this one was at is $390,000. So in a hot area that I could probably sell really quick. So that's a good listing. I get 3% of that. That's a nice little commission check. I've just paid for StreetText for a long time.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, I get a phone call from a guy named Steve, and he's like, hey, my brother told me to call you. He says you're a fantastic agent. I want to sell my house. And it's that seller's brother.
No way.
And so then the next night I went out, and now I'm going to be listing his house for sale. Strengths are the follow through that your company has. Every step of the way, I have been in communication with StreetText. They've called me and said, hey, what do you think of our service we provide? It's huge. So it goes beyond the initial sales pitch and Marcus has been fantastic at that, ensuring that, one, I understand the system, I understand how it works, I understand how to follow up. I felt like they truly wanted me to succeed with my business. That's huge. That's a strength. The platform is amazing. The reason why I signed up for it really was because of the platform of lead capturing and the back-end system of organizing and managing the leads. I think it's really effective.
That's cool. Appreciate Sydney for sharing that. So for the first goal, if you don't have any leads, it's easy to get some. You don't have to even pay anything to us. You just have to pay your Facebook budget.
Yeah.
So the second component is, how can you convert one more lead? So this is the most powerful email to send, and it's an email that you shouldn't use all the time, but you should use every so often. So what I would do is I'd stagger this email probably every 3 months or so, or whatever it may be. And it's great for leads that are a little older. And I think for a lot of you, if you don't stay close to your database, this is a great way of getting things started again, or getting things, kind of, and they'll pull out those that are the most serious right now. And it's super simple. I'm actually going to show you even a supercharged version. So here's the email. The subject line would say, "Are you still interested?" ? And then all you do in there is you put in hi, their name, are you still interested in the case of, say, a home evaluation, you might say, are you still interested in a home evaluation ? You could even include the market's changed.
Exactly. Are you still interested in that list of homes in the $399 in Kelowna?
On the buyer's side.
Yeah.
And then include just your name. Like if it was me, I would say just Steve and no other signature. I'd get rid of everything else in the bottom.
Take away from all the distractions, all the busyness. Simple. Now, that's the text version. Okay, let's supercharge that and see that what happens when you look at this email. Okay, imagine if you get this email. Okay, we all just got this. Just put yourself in the lead's position. They got this in their inbox. Are they going to respond? Number one, or are they going to respond to this?
Sorry, I could jump into the second one, but I just want to add a little bit of science behind this email too. We have tested this email ourselves. Yep. And it works wonders. If you're literally looking for just like the low-hanging fruit, those are just the most interested. And we actually typically don't get a very high unsubscribe rate from this. But even if you did, those people are going to unsubscribe anyways. But you're going to pull that top, whatever, if it's 5% or 10% of people that are kind of interested. This email speaks to them. It's because it's so personalized and so short, and the response is so sort of like yes, no, or whatever it may be. It's so easy for them to respond. The response rate goes way up. And the subject line is critical too, and it's really important that you use it this way. This gets the highest open rate. It's super personalized, so I just can't, we actually, in our building, there's another company. I was speaking to a gentleman here, and he really desperately needed a response from a lead that he was working with ongoing. This was just one lead, and he couldn't seem to get anything. And basically, he sent this email, because I encouraged him to do it. He was actually even nervous to send it. And he basically said, are you still interested in continuing to do the deal or whatever it was they're working on? And lo and behold, it worked wonders, and you got the response. So I just can't stress it enough. So now let's go to the supercharged version.
Okay, now the key on here is you're going to still put the text in there. So you're going to have both.
Hi, it's Marcus from Remax. Quick question. Are you still interested in a complimentary home evaluation? The market has changed. Just send a quick reply and I'll send it over to you. Have an awesome day.
So it's literally that simple. You could record that, and then when you're sending it out to your list, it'll seem unique to every single one of those people. But now you actually have that quick question that's included right in there and in the video.
Now, Steve, are you going to respond to that video if you get it in your email?
Well, I'm going to respond either way. Like, to me, that's the most personalized. I feel like I almost feel like I'm being rude now if I don't take action. And it can be a no or a yes. A no is not as obviously as good as a yes, but it's a lot better to know if somebody's completely out than to waste time following up with them. Yeah. We always had a model on the sales side within StreetText too, is that we keep following up until we hear a yes or no. And the reason being is that you don't hear, if you stop following up because you just don't hear anything, you're going to miss out. In fact, you've had so many clients that have come back to you and said, thanks, Marcus.
Today, there's a gentleman that just signed up with us, and I've probably been on top of him both through Facebook Messenger, because you guys all know how to get you on Facebook Messenger, and email and texting. I want to say at least 50 times over the course of a relationship. So he actually emailed me today, said, Marcus, your tenacity paid off. I'm moving forward with you guys. So lead generation and conversions is no different. It's just a matter of when it's right for them. So don't be discouraged if you don't hear from them in the beginning. It just means you've got to help yourself build systems, integrations like BombBomb, and just stay consistent, because the time will come and that database will build. And just like Donna with her 1,500 emails.
Probably much more now, yeah.
Yeah, so there is winning formulas, and I hope you guys see that lead generation is a long-term picture, which is why we don't even begin to work with anyone unless they're at least minimum dedicated for the next 3 months. And ideally, if you're looking on the seller side, we should be looking at 6 months. And we actually built a course with Donna to help you realize that it is a 6-month process. Part of the first 90 days is building all those systems, getting everything automated, and then you start seeing the biggest fruit of your labor 6 months in. And that's why you see the cyclical nature of a lot of that coming into fruition at that 6-month mark and beyond. And the longer you lead generate, the bigger your database builds, the more deals you get out of it.
Yeah, it's so true. So we actually have an invitation for you, and this is a great one, specifically if you're a current client as well. What we've done is we have another webinar, because we can't cover everything in this webinar. But in the second webinar here, we're gonna talk about the system that Donna had built out. In fact, she was asked so many times for so many different people. She, like as Marcus was saying, she's actually broken it down into a full course, her entire system, what she does kind of from the beginning all the way to the end. And what you're going to see is that as you follow this this webinar, specifically even in her course, everybody's got a different approach. So Donna's is more, so she's going to really take the value first. She's going to send information. She's going to, like I said, provide that value, but she's not even going to call her leads. So she has one approach to really working her system.
Well, let me just, I'm going to give you guys a bonus offer, and you're not even aware of this right now. For any of you that are in trial with me and actually move forward and get started with a 6-month partnership, I'm going to give you Donna Swansea's course for free, and it's a $150 course.
And Donna, you'll still get your...
Yes. Yeah. Donna, you'll be compensated for that, but it is free for you because I want to see you succeed. I want you to see how powerful the integrations of BombBomb, effective mailers, marketing, newsletters, all the things that she does well, even her email signatures. You do that right, you get that started in the beginning, you systemize this. You don't want to have to figure it out as you go. You want to get this dialed in right away. So I'm talking about this is really perfectly suited for seller lead generation. On the buyer end, we'll be working different strategies, and we'll talk about some different buyer strategies shortly here on different type of success stories we've had. But like we talked about, the perfect synergy with both of them working.
We're gonna touch on Dave Alke. Dave has a totally different approach. So he really makes the leads do some homework and get back to him. So there's really a million ways that you can approach leads. And the nice thing is that when you follow the models of some of the successful real estate agents, you can pick the one that's going to work best for you. And if your style is a little bit more upfront, you want to be on them, you're going to call them or text them, and you're going to try to actually get the lead to do some homework to get back to you, you're going to love Dave's approach. Obviously, we're going to touch on Sydney's approach. We're going to talk about Gina. And Gina and Sydney have some really good strategies around working the addresses.
Yep.
We talk about this a little bit in that first 7-day, like the trial emails as well. Gina's always able to get another 15 or 20% more deals just from her address-only strategy, which in the seller campaign, obviously as leads come through, you're going to get addresses, then you're going to get emails, you're going to get phone numbers. But the addresses is the majority, and most realtors ignore the addresses, and I totally get it because what do you do with a property address, right? It's a lot of work. If you follow Gina's strategy, you're going to actually get another 15 or 20% deals just following her program.
Here's something that most people don't know, and it's not cases for everywhere, but a lot of people can actually pull tax records. So you find out who the homeowners are. And then secondly, don't forget that once you find out who the homeowners are, go back to Facebook and search for them, because you can find out who they are. You profile them a little bit. You can even send a Facebook message. Oftentimes you can find more information, their email and so forth. And then you can send something like a BombBomb video. So the key is, at the end of the day, don't feel like that is crossing the line. They obviously clicked on something. They wanted more information. Now it's your job to promote value. And as long as you're coming from a place of value, then it's never going to be crossing the line.
Yeah, so you're not going to want to miss this event coming up. And Julia, but not everybody's going to qualify. So I'm going to talk about that in a second, how you get onto this webinar. So for Julia, she really is a powerhouse. She's got a big team. She is crushing it on the lead gen side. I don't think I've met anybody. She has a certain style of how she goes about doing it, but she is incredible. Now, I'll just actually play a quick video on her circle prospecting, and you'll hear a little clip of this.
And would you say that you're doing one listing a week off of the system based on the StreetText lead, or do you ever pick up any of the other homes in the neighborhood based on the fact that you're now calling on that property? Like, do you
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you pick up listings ever that are not StreetText leads, but they're homes now that you're circle prospecting?
Yes, and I still consider those StreetText leads because it came from the address of StreetText. So they're actually listed in my leads contacts as StreetText contact.
Gotcha.
Because it came from, the connections through StreetText, and I need to know which programs are working for me. So even if I circle prospect 2548 Keystone Avenue here, and this address tells me no, and these were the people to click on the address, but 2547 says yes, that's still a StreetText lead.
So she's got some phenomenal stuff around the circle prospecting, and she uses some other tools to really like supercharge that. But if you want to take it to the next level, especially if you want to work addresses only, like we we're mentioning as well. She's got some amazing stuff on that. So
it's a rare breed of realtor that does it.
Yeah. And then we've done some great interviews with Matthew. He's so generous. He's really shared a lot of different value and his systems. And I always say that, you know, if you really care about your branding and you want to wow that lead on the very first interaction or anything they're ever going to receive from you, if you want to blow them away and go, oh my goodness, I want to work with this real estate agent, you're going to want to follow what Matthew does. I mean, that's what he's built his business on. And then he just turns these leads into repeating referrals. And he's just got an incredible system. And that's why I think he keeps doubling his business year after year. So we're going to be featuring that as well. So to qualify, it's really simple. You just have to be in as a client of ours or in that 7-day trial period, which, as we mentioned, you know, you can just get set up for free. You're just going to run your Facebook ad budget. And I'll actually include a link here for it as well. There's really no point being on this webinar unless you actually have some leads coming in, because you're going to want to, I'm just going to publish this here. You're gonna want to take action on these strategies. So this is definitely going to be a webinar for people that are in the 7-day trial. So if you're not in it, click on the Start 7-Day Trial. Like I said, you can get set up for free. It's easy. And I think another thing, Marcus, to mention to you is if you don't know exactly how to fill that out, don't panic. You know, do the best you can. Your ad's not going to go live until you talk to somebody on the team.
You can't have a wrong call to action because I'm going to review it with you anyhow. So essentially, just put anything you want in there, anything that comes to mind, and we'll work through it together. We'll pick the ideal target audience, we'll pick the ideal area, the ideal call to action, and there are a couple things we have to go through anyways to get access to that business page to run the ads effectively. So, Steve, how do they qualify for this webinar, or when? Like, is there a link that we're going to send them into this?
Yeah. So as long as you're generating the leads and you're in the program, or you're one of our current clients. So, thanks so much for attending today. You're going to have access to that webinar, and we're going to send that out. Actually, I have something else as a little bonus I forgot almost as well here. If you do want to get started today on the 7-day trial, just for no other reason other than, you know, we just feel like it's a nice little special offer for you being on this webinar and taking
guys,
the time.
If you're in trial with me, you don't get that $10 card.
Yeah, this is only for people that are on this today. You get a little $10 Amazon
But
card.
I'll give you some tips and advice to get you healthy if you want.
So if you want to take action today and you get started, you're going to get this little gift as well. You know, if you are in trial and you refer someone, so you send someone to get set up on a trial, we can send you this little gift
for sure.
But it's just today only. It's literally a today promotion. So, you know, please don't ask for tomorrow. This is just for the day. So
here's another thing, guys. If you become a client and you refer somebody that also becomes a client, then that turns into a $50 gift certificate. So there's always great incentives to work with us.
So thanks so much for taking the time out of your busy days to be here. We hope you've learned some good things. I really am excited for the second webinar, and I hope that all of you are going to be on that. And if you have any questions, you know, please just respond to the emails. We love to hear your feedback because we always want to produce good content. So if you got any feedback, just let us know, and we'd love to hear that. And otherwise, thanks so much from both of us.
Yeah, and if you have any questions specifically on the BombBomb integration and how to set that up, you can send me a message, Marcus, M-A-R-K-U-S, at StreetText.com. And I know Shane is on here as well, Shane at BombBomb. I'll make sure to get you connected for a free demo and the 14-day free trial.
Thanks so much, everyone. Thanks for joining.